Good morning and welcome back to Daily Red Devil. We have lots to discuss on the show this morning, but before we get into all of that, please do me a small favour. If you are watching for the first time today, don't forget to subscribe, bottom right hand corner. We're live every single day, and give the video a like as well. On this morning's show, we're going to be talking about Donnarumma transfer bombshell. We're going to be talking about Carlos Baleba, with apparently Manchester United hoping to make progress this week. Also talking a bit about Garnacho. We've got all sorts to get into on the show today, but I want to get your thoughts on how everything is shaping up in this transfer window. How are you feeling at the moment? Are you happy with the window? Do Manchester United need to do more business? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section. We only have just over 2 weeks left of the window, I believe. Is it the 1st of September the window closes? Yes. So we have, literally just over 2 weeks until the window closes. What business do we need to do before the end of this window? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Are you happy with what we've done so far? Do we need to do more? What are your thoughts? Very interested to see. I think this is a really good point to have a little bit of a recap, a little bit of a moment where we sit and just kind of process where we are as a team, where we are in this transfer window. So for me personally, I think the first three signings are absolutely fantastic. I'm very happy with Cunha. I'm very happy with Mbumo. I'm very happy with Šeško. I think all three of those signings are absolutely incredible. And if someone told me at the beginning of the window that we'd have those three attacking players, I wouldn't have believed you. So I'm really happy with that. The outgoings has been really bad, but let's be honest, our outgoings are always really bad. We always struggle to sell players. We still seem to be a side that teams think that they can just pull the wool over our eyes. And I wouldn't be at all surprised if it's like Antony gets loaned out, Sancho gets loaned out, Garnacho goes for like 20 million. For whatever reason, we never seem to be able to get fair market price for our players. Whenever it's us buying somebody, for example, Mason Mount from Chelsea, right? What did we pay? Like 60, 70 million for Mason Mount? Roughly? Yeah, I think we paid like, let me check. I think it was about 60 million. Let's have a look. Chelsea just sold Madueke to Arsenal for £50 million. And they want to give us 20, 30 million for Garnacho. We paid 67.7 million for Mason Mount. And we can't even sell Garnacho for 20, 30 million. Same with Sancho. We paid what, like 100 million for Sancho euros? God knows what's going on with Sancho. No idea. Absolutely no idea. If anybody in the chat can tell me what's going on with Sancho, I'd love to know. I mean, there's people saying he's going to go to Besiktas. There's people saying he's going to go to Juventus. There's people saying he's going to go here. There's people saying he's going to go there. Yeah, I mean that's kind of mad actually. So I've just typed in Sancho because trying to find out what's going on. So apparently he's linked to Besiktas at the moment, right? Jadon Sancho put up a new post on Instagram, and this new post has 5 million comments, right? All from Besiktas fans, all writing the word "come to Besiktas." I'm literally looking at this post now on Instagram. Fair play to the Besiktas fans. They clearly want Jadon Sancho. 5 million comments on his latest post, and it's all Besiktas fans. But yeah, I just where's he gonna go? Yeah, I mean, there's nothing. I'm looking here on X. I'm looking here on all of the usual kind of websites that have the news, and there is absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. There's Juventus apparently interested, and there's Besiktas apparently interested. I mean, there's a story here saying that Jadon Sancho has told Manchester United he's not going to play and will just collect his 250,000 a week. It looks like he's still on holiday from what I can see. Another story here, it says Jadon Sancho prepared to sit at Manchester United and run down his contract. I don't even want to talk about Jadon Sancho, man. It's just a waste, isn't it? It's a waste of talent. He definitely was a talented player at one point many years ago, but now it's just like another example of how money has ruined football in some ways. But anyway, let's not delve down that road. Let's talk about something more positive. Let's talk about Carlos Baleba then, shall we? So there is a bit of an update here for you guys this morning from the man himself, Mr. Fabrizio Romano. So let's jump in straight on to that. So Fabrizio is saying this morning, where's the news story gone? There it is. So in relation to Carlos Baleba, actually, let's start with Garnacho actually quickly. So Garnacho looks like it's going to be done very, very quickly. Fabrizio is saying that I understand that Alejandro Garnacho has now agreed every detail of personal terms with Chelsea. He says that the deal is now fully done on the player side. Garnacho only wants Chelsea. Talks with Manchester United are now ongoing over a transfer fee. So Garnacho to Chelsea is going to happen. How much money we'll get? I don't know, realistically. I don't know. I reckon it'll be like 30, 40 million maybe. 30, 40 million. So that's somewhat positive that he is on the way out. He's going to go. Yeah, he is going to leave Manchester United, which I guess is a positive thing, isn't it? So, yeah, that's good. But in relation to Carlos Baleba, Fabrizio has been talking. This was late last night. And obviously, we know that Manchester United have agreed to personal terms with Carlos Baleba. So that's all done. He wants to join Manchester United. Wages aren't obviously going to be a problem. He's only on 12.5 grand a week at Brighton at the moment. Man United apparently willing to offer him as much as £100,000 per week in order to get a deal over the line, which is, I think, is perfectly reasonable. When you pay Maguire 200k a week, you pay Mason Mount 250k a week. I think 100k a week isn't that bad, so I have no problem with that. Obviously, the biggest problem is the transfer fee. So apparently, Manchester United are going to approach Brighton this week in an official capacity to understand whether they would accept less than the 100 million that's been initially quoted. Again, I think 100 million is ridiculous. I think if somewhere between 60 to 80 million would probably be more like his actual market value, but at the same time, I do obviously understand that, Brighton are pricing him based on, like, potential, if that makes sense. Like, he could be £100 million player in a year or two. He's not at the moment, but in 1 or 2 years, he definitely could be. So I understand their logic, and I'm not going to kind of badmouth Brighton because they're a very well-run football club. There's a lot of... What's the word? There's a lot we could learn from Brighton as a football club in relation to their scouting, in relation to how they always know who their next manager is. You know, if they sack their manager today, the next manager will be appointed tomorrow. They already know who it is. They have a certain way of playing. The managers have to come in and play their certain style. It doesn't matter what their kind of philosophies are. So I have a lot of respect for Brighton, so I'm not going to badmouth them. Do I think we can get him for less than what the asking price is? Possibly. But at the same time, I feel like they're still going to want this magic number, which is apparently around 100 million. It might be that you pay them 60 million plus 40 in add-ons or something like that. I think that would be fair. But if they're wanting 100 million guaranteed, I don't think that's very realistic, because all you're really doing there is paying a team for the potential that a player might become good in the future. And obviously, if he doesn't, and they're not good because he already is good, but you know what I mean? Like, you're paying for the potential that this player might become world-class in the future. That's a better way of wording it. And obviously, there's the potential that he won't become world-class and he won't be worth 100 million. And we have another situation like Anthony, where we paid probably double what Anthony's market value was to Ajax, because we said, we're hoping that in 2 or 3 years' time, he's going to be worth X amount of money. But in reality, that probably won't happen. So yeah, that's my take on Carlos Baleba. Yeah, I think he would be an absolutely phenomenal signing. But whether it will happen, I don't know. All right, let me see what people are saying in the chat. Al says Carlos Baleba will cost 100 million. We're not going to get a discount. Yeah, what I'm saying, Al, is 100 million is fine if it's like 60 million plus 40 in add-ons, something like that. Because then effectively you're paying the 60 million for a player who's worth 60 million now, but then you're also committing to giving a further 40 million if the player fulfills the potential that you think he will. Does that make sense? That's kind of how I see it. I just think we can't get burned again, where we pay 100 million for a player who's not worth 100 million, and the logic is, oh, well, in a couple of years he might be worth 100 million. That's just stupid. So yeah, that's my take on that. I understand that Brighton wants 100 million and he's worth 100 million to Brighton, But there's no way on earth his market value is 100 million at the moment. It just simply isn't. I mean, what does Transfer Market say? Let's have a look. Transfer Market says his value is 40 million euros. I mean, how many games? He's played 61 games in the Premier League. He's had, what, 2 seasons in the Premier League? But I would love to bring him in, don't get me wrong. Absolutely phenomenal player, versatile, extremely athletic, very quick. Would completely change our midfield. So I would love for this player to come in. But yeah, Brighton apparently asking for 100 million at the point of recording this video. Manchester United expected to go in this week in an official capacity to try and understand if they could bring that price down, whether it's due to whether they can do add-ons, whether they could do like performance-based incentives, whatever it might be. They want to bring that price down because they're obviously not going to, commit to 100 million right now, which I think is fair enough. So that's the latest on that. Slightly less positive news is in relation to Donnarumma. So obviously everyone here was quite excited about Donnarumma, but it doesn't really seem like Donnarumma to Manchester United is going to happen, unfortunately, guys. Yeah, a bit disappointing, really. I would really, really like... Well, sorry, there's a bit of breaking news here that apparently Newcastle and West Ham have made an offer for Rasmus Hojlund. Wow. So there's a story this morning saying that apparently Manchester United have turned down an offer for a loan deal with an option to buy for Rasmus Hojlund. And then the story also says that apparently both Newcastle and West Ham have also made an offer for Rasmus Hojlund. Manchester United are currently looking for either a permanent sale or a loan deal that comes with an obligation to buy, opposed to obviously an offer with an option to buy. I still think it's a mistake to let Hojlund go unless you're going to bring in someone else. I mean, what happens if Sesko starts the season poorly? What happens if he gets injured? What do we do then? You know? Like, what do we do? I mean, we don't have any other option then. We're just without a striker. But yeah, let's jump back over to Donnarumma. So the latest on Donnarumma, this is coming out from multiple different people, is that apparently Manchester United are not going to move for Donnarumma. This is coming out from Simon Stone from the BBC. He's reporting that I've received a strong pushback from United against the link with Donnarumma. He says that United tell me that the goalkeeper position is not a priority for them. This could be the biggest mistake of the window, to be honest. Goalkeeper position is not a priority. He goes on to say, it's worth bearing in mind any goalkeeper talk around United that Radek Vitek and Eli Harrison out on loan are both very highly thought of by the club. I mean, that's great. And I think Radek Vitek definitely has a future at Manchester United. He's currently on loan at Bristol City, which is one of the teams in the city where I live in Bristol. But, I mean, those 7 words, goalkeeper is not a priority for Manchester United. That could haunt us this season. I mean, it might not. Maybe Onana suddenly becomes world class. But first season, he cost us Champions League. And last season he made so many mistakes. So many laughable mistakes. And for me, he just doesn't instill confidence in the rest of the team. He doesn't seem to be able to pass out from the back, which is the only thing that we bought him for. I just don't think he's good enough. I'm sorry, I just don't. And I think for Manchester United to be briefing the mainstream media, Simon Stone is like a client journalist, if you know what that means. Client journalists, all they put out is news that they get direct from the club. Simon Stone doesn't put out speculation. He doesn't put out clickbait. He works for the BBC. He literally just puts out information directly given to him by Manchester United. You know, he doesn't do that many news stories, but he has put out this story saying that effectively Manchester United have briefed him saying that they're not going to go in for Donnarumma and the goalkeeper is not a priority for them. And I just think that's a massive mistake. When you have a player of Donnarumma's quality available on the market for as little as 30 million, how can we say that a goalkeeper is not a priority? How can we say that a midfielder is not a priority as well? It's all good strengthening that attacking line. Our attacking line now is looking absolutely fantastic, I think. Sesko and Bumya, Cunha, Bruno, Ahmad. We have so many good attacking players now, which I'm excited about. Cheeto. But our midfield is just gaping, a massive gaping hole. And our goalkeeper is, let's be honest, a liability. I think our defence is all right. I'm pretty happy with our centre-backs. I'm happy with our wing-backs. Not a massive problem with the defence. I think the defence is okay. I don't think it's amazing, but I think it's okay. I think the attack is good. I would actually say our attack is good now. And our midfield is below average. I think most other Premier League teams have better midfielders than us. Brighton have a better midfield. Brentford have a better midfield. Newcastle do. Liverpool do. Arsenal do. Man City do. Tottenham do. Who else do? I mean, you could even argue that teams like West Ham do. Everton do. Our midfield is probably like... If you were to compare our midfield with the rest of the teams in the Premier League's midfield, I would say our midfield is probably in like the bottom 5. Genuinely. If you go through the whole Premier League table, right, and have a look at all of their midfields, I honestly would say ours is in like the bottom 5. I mean, you even go down to teams like, let's have a look. So, for example, Crystal Palace, they've got Adam Wharton. Fulham, they've got a good midfield. Brighton have got, obviously, a fantastic midfield. Nottingham Forest have got a fantastic midfield. Tottenham even have a fantastic midfield. So, yeah, it needs to be addressed, definitely. I think our attack is decent. I think our attack is top 5. I think our defenders are probably top 5. I think our goalkeeper's probably bottom 5. And I think our midfield's probably bottom 5. And those are the 2 areas we need to address. If we bring in a goalkeeper and a midfielder, we could easily be in that conversation for top 5, top 6, I think, next season. If we don't, I think we'll probably finish somewhere in the top 10, maybe 8th or 9th, probably, would be realistic, with no goalkeeper and no midfielder. I would be absolutely stunned if we finish in the top 5 if we don't sign a goalkeeper and a midfielder. Honestly, I'd be stunned. I think top 10 would probably be more realistic. But like I said, if we can bring in that midfielder and a goalkeeper, my expectations go from top 10 to top 5. Because I think it would make so much of a difference. But yeah, let me know what you guys all think about that. How do you feel to hear the words that a goalkeeper is not a priority for Manchester United? Does that sit well with you? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Are these reports coming in from sources? Yeah, Simon Stone is tier 1, unfortunately. Simon Stone is, like I said, Simon Stone doesn't put out like fake stories. He's a client journalist. He'll have got that information directly from the club. So, unfortunately, if Simon Stone is saying that Manchester United aren't in the market for a goalkeeper, then as it stands, we're not in the market for a goalkeeper. Now, obviously, if someone comes in for Onana, which is never going to happen, then we would be in for a goalkeeper. But as it stands, nobody wants Onana. I mean, even Saudi don't seem to want Onana. So, yeah. A little bit disappointing, really. But I don't really know what else to say. Bit disappointing. But I'm going to wrap the video up here, guys. I've got a very busy day again today. But thank you so much for watching. I think I've got all of the news covered in that 20 minutes of show. Please do make sure to drop a like before you leave. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. I will go live again, obviously, if anything breaks. Thank you so much for watching. I will speak to you all later. Bye-bye.